Okay, I selected the button on the FT Aviator for auto takeoff, slid the button on the app, and we had a normal takeoff. Up until I got to a point where you can see right here the screen froze at what it looked like was 19 feet on the app itself. However, the Phantom 4 Pro V2.0 was still climbing, but the app was frozen at this point. Now, this continues for probably a good 2 or 3 minutes here. And again, I am trying to find out what's going on below when you watch the full video clip. And now for some reason, it just starts drifting. And you can tell I have not touched any of the controls, and it's just starting to take off right here. Now, they estimated, I guess the speed was probably about maybe 10, 15 miles an hour. It wasn't very fast. It looks faster than it is. And then it made a 90-degree turn. We think that I may have touched the controller, the actual Phantom 4 Pro V2.0 controller that caused that turn. And then it started coming back a little bit. We again, thinking that maybe I had touched the controller just a little bit. And then it just started going in the other direction, and it kept going. At this point, since I lost visual contact with it out in my backyard, I went ahead and ran through the house and went to the front yard to see if I can find it outside to have some kind of visual contact with it. But unfortunately, by that point that I got outside out front, it was beyond my visual line of sight. And at that point, I went ahead and went to the backyard to start to think about what my other options might be. I had tried hitting return to home on the DJI 4 remote itself. That wasn't working. And then I remembered be able to switch to sport mode would disconnect the Fluidity app. So coming up here, I did try that. And it's coming up here in a minute. Okay, now this is the point where I did switch the controller, but what I forgot to do was instead of just, I left it in, I believe, sport mode, and I didn't return it back. That is what I needed to do to get the controller to regain control of the Phantom 4 Pro V2.0. So at this point, it was still going. And then I had decided I'm going to go back outside, back to the back of the house, and I was going to attempt to reconnect to the DJI Go 4 app, and that's coming up right here. And this is where I'm trying to attempt to reconnect to the DJI Go 4 app. And here's where return to home was engaged. You can see it raising up in altitude and then the aircraft orienting itself to the home point. And this was still unbeknownst to me, but I started to hear the beeping, and I was having an adrenaline rush at that point, so I really didn't know what was going on. And then I wanted to go ahead and reconnect to the Fluidity app because I thought maybe I can regain control that way. Now, mind you, I still didn't have any forward vision. What you're seeing here is from the SD card off of the aircraft. And yes, at this point, I was still panicking because I didn't know where it was, although we could start to hear it at this point. And then by now I could definitely hear it. And then very shortly here, we'll get it to come back. And now it's completely reconnected. And the app will come back. And you see returning home in safe mode all the way up at the upper left-hand corner. Then the aircraft's going to orient itself to the home position and land. I do want to say I really have to commend Scott and all the team at Fluidity. I've been working with them constantly since this happened on Saturday. In fact, I had a video conference with them today. I've provided log files, video files, and other data and information, and they're currently digesting all of this right now. So as soon as I have more results, I will let everybody know.